All right, Zainab. Yes, I can see your screen. Hello, Zainab. I
Yes,
can
I
see your
can hear
screen.
you.
I can see your
Okay.
screen. So what do you know is that you can start now, get to know them. Emmanuel, for a bit introduction, Emmanuel is an expert in data analysis, and I think he's getting this certificate course so just to get certified. He has knowledge of data analytics already. He works with an NGO. So you can get to know members of the class. We have medical doctors, about three of them are medical doctors. And demography again, most of them are based in the north. So they are learning this skill possibly to work in the NGO space. It might not be in corporate world. So you can thank God that you are working in the NGO space as well. You can tell them the benefits of uh, BI in corporate setting, in NGO sector and all that. So what we do now is that we are not going to wait. Now you can start now. It's been live stream on YouTube. So I will make you a host. I'll make Emmanuel co-host. Emmanuel, confirm you can hear me. So those who are joining later, please add them to the
Yes,
class.
I can hear you, sir.
All right, thank you so much. Which NGO do you work with, Emmanuel? Which NGO do you work with?
I work with an NGO Solace for children, women, and adolescents.
In which state is that? Which state?
Kaduna State, but it's on a temporary basis. It's just a coming up NGO.
Okay,
But
don't worry.
I'm an environmental consultant. That's what I basically do now.
Okay, well, you are pivoting to the data analytics, right?
Yes, sir.
In the NGO space, are you working with BI or analysis only, or Excel?
Well,
Do you use BI for analysis?
I use both.
You use both.
But yes, but the BI I'm not that strong with the
All
BI,
right. So
so that's
tonight,
why it's one of those things
yes.
that
So this
get me
one,
a
she
little.
will take you from introduction level. You have a class today, tomorrow, and the last class with her will be on next week. She will decide
Okay,
whether
sir.
on Monday or Tuesday. So we have three sessions with her. Today, she will
Okay.
take it slowly, and we are going to enjoy the class. Then the material she's going to share, I will share with you again. So a brief introduction, because those who are going to watch this video, you can see that you are live on YouTube. Some of the
Yes, sir.
classmates, they will come back and watch it. So Zainab, she works with the Wave Academy. We worked together at the same NGO in Lagos before I left the organization in last August. So, and she's one of the people I respect in that organization because they are the ones that tell us this is where we are going, the insight we are getting to know if you're actually making impact. And donor, they are crazy about impact. They want to see your impact. Your impact can be metric or non metric. And insight, I told you already that data analysts, most of these things you are learning on data analysis, some of them can be automated. You can use AI tools, but insight, if there is one thing you are going to gain from our class, is that insight. She's an expert in that. Data cannot speak for themselves. We need human intelligence to make sense of what the data is saying. So, Grace, you are welcome on board. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, I hand over the class to you. Zainab, we can go ahead now. So, Grace, I made you a co-host as well. Please help me to add other persons who might come in. I will make Zainab the host of this session. So, anybody who is joining later, they will have to join. So, uh, Aja Zainab, you can go ahead now. You can go ahead
Okay.
so that I won't take your time already. All right. Thank you so much. I'll make you the host now. Thank you. All right. I wish you a nice session tonight.
All right. Thank you very much, Olusoji. And thank you everyone. My name is Zainab Afolayom. And just like Olusoji said, I am a business intelligence analyst at Wave Academies, one of the top NGOs in Lagos. So before we go ahead, I know I've heard from Emmanuel, but I would just like a general introduction from all of us that are in the class, just to get familiar with each other before we go ahead with what I have for you guys this evening. So starting with Emmanuel, you can go ahead and introduce yourself, and you can go ahead and share the knowledge. Like I would really like to know the knowledge about the knowledge you have about business intelligence. So let me just say Power BI, but but majorly focused on business intelligence generally. So I would open the floor to you to go ahead, introduce yourself, tell me what you know about business intelligence. Then we move on to the next person, which should be Grace. then we move on to Maman. I hope I'm correct with the name. So that's it. Please go ahead, Emmanuel. Please, can you confirm you can hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Emmanuel Junior from Kaduna State. I'm an environmental consultant. I also work with the NGO space at atomic level. So basically, what I know about business intelligence is how you can be able to navigate through the business models from the startup to the level of profit and marginalization and optimization of profit. And I think that's the little I know about business intelligence. Then using AI to authenticate, just like media marketing and social media marketing and media marketing in general aspect. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Emmanuel. That was a nice introduction. So moving on to Grace. Grace, please, can you hear us? Can you unmute your mic and speak on who you are, probably what you are doing currently, and the knowledge you have about business intelligence?
Good evening, ma.
Good evening.
Yeah,
evening,
my name
please.
is Grace Amos. Actually, I have no idea about it. Sorry, the place I am there is very noisy.
Okay.
I'm from Adamawa State.
All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for that introduction. Please, moving on to, I think we are 4 years. So moving on to Maman. Please, can you unmute your mic and speak?
Yeah, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
My name is Mamman Abakia James from Kaduna State, a researcher. What the little I know about business intelligence is how to navigate the use of technologies, also strategies to see how you can manipulate business data so that it will guide you on some of your decision makings as regards to your business idea. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, everyone, for that introduction. Like, it's actually good to actually see that, okay, this is the level of knowledge that you guys have about this topic that we want to cover, so that I can know where to start from, and where to start from the things I'm going to say, and know that, okay, are we starting from an expert level? Are we starting from an intermediate level? Are we starting from the beginner level? So I can see that the level is varied in what we have right now. So we have people that know, let me just say, maybe not really intermediate, but to some extent, a very good knowledge about it. Then we have someone like Grace also that says she barely knows anything about it. So that means we are going to start our class on a beginner level. So before I go ahead to what I have on my slide, so when we are saying business intelligence, business intelligence is like simply studying. You can be in any business sector. It can be an NGO, it can be in banking, it can be in finance, it can be in healthcare. Like, looking at I would say looking at it's even for me, it goes beyond data, even looking at the operations, like, gathering data from every activity that is being conducted within that business and using that data to make informed decision. So even before we even get to the part of gathering data, we have to go through several stages, like, okay, this data that we want to gather, like, okay, like maybe we start with problem solving. What's the main problem? Why are we gathering the data? So what's the main problem that this business is currently facing? So that's like the first question that we have to deal with when it comes to business intelligence. So for that, I like to use five W's when you ask, okay, why, where, when, and there's also H, also how and where. Okay, so what's like why is this problem happening? Why is this problem happening? Like, just to get the main root cause of the problem. Okay, where is the problem happening? Is it in this particular, does it have to do with a particular department, or does it have to do with a particular customer base? So how is the problem happening? So how is the problem happening? You want to know how the problem is happening before you can even say you want to analyze any data and provide insights from it. So anytime you want to solve a problem, basically, you don't just jump into the data set. Please always have it in mind that, like, that's what I use for myself, and you can actually adopt it as well. The 5 W's and H: where, what, when, why, how, where. So by the time you list this out and start scribbling, writing things down, even before you get to the part of gathering data, you already have a big picture of, oh, this is where I'm coming from, this is where I'm going to, and this is where I intend to achieve. And one more thing that comes with business intelligence is that right from the beginning, we have to consider the stakeholders. Who are the stakeholders? The stakeholders are those that, like, let me just say, okay, maybe for example, in a company, the CEO is a stakeholder, your manager is a stakeholder. I want to be practical, so I'm not just giving definitions that you're trying to figure out what is this. So the CEO, the manager is a stakeholder. So for example, now a CEO that has pumped a lot of money into his business, and the business is currently undergoing, different kind of challenges. He really wants to know what's happening. So he's a major stakeholder, and you want to be able to, like, okay, sit with this stakeholder to ask him a question like, okay, what's the main thing you really intend to achieve from this business? How is this problem really hitting you? So it's not just jumping into data, it's really, trying to get the why right from the beginning of any project. So when I want to bring it down to the case of NGO, so when it comes to the case of NGO, for example, now Emmanuel said something about, I don't know what the NGO is about though, like maybe adolescents, men or something, adolescents, children, and I'm trying to remember what you said. Let me just say something generally about it. Let's say maybe in that NGO, what you guys do is to, like, maybe inform them about, okay, let me just focus on health. Okay, like, okay, let me say men health. Like, okay, one major I think one major disease that we have out there now. I'm not speaking on data right now, but based on what people are saying, like, maybe major thing that affects guys is, like, maybe prostate cancer, and there is a lot of, like, NGO coming up to, like, sensitize people, give information, give the do's and don'ts, like, advise people here and there. So right from the beginning, instead of trying to just drop into it, like, you want to go to a community and sensitize them on, prostate cancer, instead of just trying to, go there and start gathering data immediately, you have to, like, sit down and, ask yourself questions that, okay, what do I intend to achieve? What do I intend to achieve with the data I want to gather from these guys and this community that I'm even going to? This problem, like, you really want to know that, okay, is this a major problem they are facing? And you really want to know the root cause, like, all the things that is underneath that, okay, what is one thing that is leading to one thing? Like, maybe they are eating a bit, I don't know if you have a doctor in the room. They are eating a bit, the things, or the different kind of things that doctors tells us to avoid in order not to have this kind of disease. And so you want to know if it's something like maybe this kind of community is actually doing, maybe the guys, like maybe the men are actually, indulging in such activities before even saying you want to gather data, so that you can really focus on, okay, this is where the main problem is coming from, and this is how you can provide solutions to it. Please confirm you can hear me. Please, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, ma.
Yeah, you ma.
Okay. Please, I hope you guys understand what I've been saying since, and nothing is confusing.
Yes, ma.
Okay. So with that, okay. Do you want to say anything? All right, so let me just continue. So with that, I've given you the beginning step of business intelligence. So now I want to move on to what we have on my slide. So what we have on my slide now is introduction to Power BI basics for beginners. So one thing is, as a business intelligence analyst, one major tool that we use is Power BI. So what's Power BI? As you can see on my screen, it is a Microsoft business intelligence tool for connecting, transforming, and visualizing data to drive decisions with interactive dashboards and reports. So now let me go back to the example I said now, like about, going to your community to sensitize them about prostate cancer. So after you are done asking all your questions and you really know that, okay, this is where the problem is and this is what we intend to achieve from it. So based on the problem, like the problem points that you have now, you are going to, like, by the time you want to start gathering data from people in the community, the questions you are going to create will be around that problem that you've actually figured out. So you might decide to go beyond the scope, but you know that, okay, this is the problem that is guiding the questions that you want to create, that you want to ask the men in the community. So after you are done with that, then you start gathering the data, like, oh, okay, what kind of meal, like what's the rampart meal in this, what kind of meal do you eat, what kind of activities do you indulge in, what's your hygiene like? So you get to see in the community, you get to see a pattern. So when you are done gathering all this data, you cannot say you want to sit down manually to start calculating it on your own, one by one. It's going to take forever. Let me say forever. It's going to take you a very long time, and it is actually time wasting. So one of the best ways to make it faster for you is to use a business intelligence tool, so that you'll be able to analyze and then look at the patterns and then provide insights from what you've analyzed. And this insight is going to inform the kind of decision that maybe, I don't know, maybe you want to submit the report to an organization that wants to fund what you are doing in that particular community. So Power BI is one major tool that we use for this kind of analysis. So like I said, it is a business intelligence tool, and we use it for connecting, transforming, and visualizing data to drive decisions with interactive dashboards and reports. Please, can anyone confirm they've seen a dashboard online and reports? Can you hear me, please?
Yes, we can hear you, ma. The dashboard is not moving.
Yes, I'm still, no, I'm still on that particular. I'm saying, can you confirm that you've seen a dashboard online? You know what a dashboard looks like?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, so one thing about dashboard and reports is that they are quite similar, and a lot of times in fact, some people will even agree that dashboards and report are the same thing. But for dashboards, one thing we believe in the BI world is that dashboard is continuous. Like, okay, for example, now maybe I've visualized a particular data set that I want a stakeholder to see. So I can go on to keep on updating that data set, and the dashboard will continue to update on its own. But for report is static. So when you say you want to create a report, like maybe, okay, you've conducted the analysis, so you can just create maybe a one-pager report or two-pager report that, okay, after conducting the analysis and after going there to, after we've gotten the funds to actually go into that community to make an impact, okay, 3 months impact, this is what we've been able to do, and this is how this is the kind of impact we've been able to make within 3 months. So that's like static, that's permanent, that's what has happened. But when it comes to dashboard, it's like continuous. Like, the more you keep on updating it, the more you keep on updating the data sets, the more it keeps on updating. So for example, now you've done the 3 months survey, you go ahead to do the 6 months survey, you keep on updating the data set. That's how the dashboard, so we keep on updating. Please, I hope you understand.
Yes, ma.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma.
Okay. All right. So moving ahead, so what is Power BI? So Power BI is a Microsoft I'm sure we all know it is like we've heard about Microsoft here. So it is a Microsoft business intelligence platform that helps us to connect, transform, and visualize data. So what it does is that it simply enables data-driven decisions via interactive dashboards and reports, just like I explained earlier. So as a business intelligence analyst, why is learning Power BI very important? In fact, before we came to this session, I asked Olisoji, I said, what's the demographics of the people that I want to take on this class? Because I really want to know if they are business owners, if like maybe they are working in the NGO. So it was one that he told me that they are doctors, there are people working in the NGO and co. Because these two might mean different things for different people. For someone who is like maybe a retailer, he wants to see how well he sells, like how well his sales is going, how well sales is going for his business. He wants to see his profits. He wants to see where he's not making money. For someone who is a doctor, for someone who is a doctor, one thing I know is that most times doctors are not mostly in charge of the dashboard. They're like people like maybe analysts within the healthcare field that are in charge. I can see that, okay, maybe you want to use it to reduce, you want to be able to check that, okay, what is causing delay in the hospital? Why are people staying over 5-6 hours in the hospital before they get to see a doctor? Like, you want to use it to like inform decisions that can reduce waiting time for patients and make their experience better. So for someone who is like in the NGO field, you want to be able to like tell impact stories with it. You want to be able to show your stakeholders that, okay, see, at the beginning of this project, this is where this person was, but over the course of 3 months, 6 months, this is where this person is currently. See how this person's life has improved due to the activity that we carried out in that community. So why learn Power BI? So there are different business intelligence tools. There's Tableau as well. So it is a visualization tool, and there's Looker as well. But many of us, I'll say many of us, like we prefer Power BI. So why learn Power BI? So one thing is that it has an easy interface. It's like a drag and drop design, and it makes report building fast. And also, aside from that, you can also connect to multiple sources. With Power BI, I've connected with Excel, I've connected with SQL, you can connect with web data. You can create a folder on your laptop as well, and like create a folder, put your data set into it, and connect it. So we are going to do all of this tomorrow. So what we are doing today is just like basically introductory class. So moving forward, how does Power BI workflow works? So the first thing that we are going to do all of this tomorrow, please. So this is just like to get us accustomed to what we are going to do tomorrow, so that you can see that, okay, pending tomorrow, at least I have knowledge of, okay, this is what we want to do tomorrow. So how does Power BI workflow works? The first thing that we do is to get data. So it depends on where your data is. But for this session, the one we are going to do and the one we are going to do tomorrow, we will be using Excel. We'll be using Excel. I'll be putting a spreadsheet into a folder, so we are going to see how we are going to do that tomorrow. And you can use web sources as well. You can connect to different sources with Power BI. You can connect to Google Sheets as well. So after you're done with getting your data, you can transform your data. That's one major power of Power BI. So when you've gotten your data, there's a tab that you just click on transform data, and Power BI is going to help you to clean and shape your data perfectly using Power Query. So you can model your data, like maybe create relationships between your data. For example, let's say we have a data set that has customers ID, their location, the price, the revenue that the business is generating. So there's a way we can create a model and connect all of that. We can also visualize, like what I've been explaining, since we can visualize data with Power BI. So we have several charts. We can build charts like bar charts, pie charts. We can build bar charts. We can build bar charts, pie charts, column chart, and a whole lot of other chart as well. We have cards in Power BI, so we are going to see all of that tomorrow. So these are the charts that are going to reveal the insights from what you have in your data set. And definitely you can publish the dashboard to the Power BI service for distribution. So you can share inside. By the time you publish the Power BI service, you can share to like people within your organization. Your stakeholders can see it, your manager can see it, even your team members can see it. So at this point, I want to ask, do we have any question?
No, ma. I don't have any-
I can't hear you, Manu.
No, ma, I don't have any question.
Okay, Grace, please, is this clear? All what we've been
Yes,
saying, is it clear?
yes, ma'am. Yeah, it's
Okay.
clear.
And Maman, is it clear?
Yes, we can proceed, ma.
Okay. So moving forward, we have key Power BI components. We have the desktop. So I can send a link for you to easily, if you don't have Power BI, you can download Power BI desktop. We have Power BI desktop, we have Power BI service. So but as a beginner, even as an expert, most times I still prefer to go to my Power BI desktop. All I do is publish on Power BI service. I barely do any edit. I just publish and stakeholders can see what I've done on that Power BI service. So you can download the Power BI desktop. If you have this Microsoft, we all know Play Store, right? So there's this on the laptop, there's this, we also have something like Play Store. I can't really remember the name of that app. So you can just go there and search for Microsoft Power BI. You can as well download it from there. So we have Power BI service. So after we are done with the report, you can share the report online for collaboration or for your stakeholders to see it. So we have Power BI Mobile. I barely use this, but you can actually, is actually very good on the go. Maybe if you're in an organization, you can advise your team members or even your stakeholder that if it's maybe someone that travels a lot or something, or like person wants to be seeing what is really happening as you're analyzing and just see everything on the go. You can tell the person to download the Power BI mobile and then you view the dashboards, like they can view the dashboards on their phones and tablets. So what are basic concepts for Power BI? So it's very simple. The data sets, the data you want to import into Power BI. So like I said earlier, maybe a survey that you carry out and you've collected the data, then you want to import it into Power BI and analyze. Then we have a dashboard. Sometimes it can be a single page, sometimes it can be a multi-page. You can have 2-page dashboard, you can have 3-page dashboard. So we also have a report. So I said the other time that people say there's really a difference between dashboard and report, but I've given you a very like one single difference that I know that report is permanent, like it's static. But when it comes to dashboard, it's continuous. So we also have visualizations. So we for visualizations, these are charts and graphs that display your data. Okay, so this is, I mentioned different kind of chart earlier. So this is common Power BI chart and what they are used for. So we have column charts. For the first one, like column charts is used to compare values across categories. You might Column chart is used to compare values across categories. For example, we can have sales by region. So tomorrow we are going to see column charts. So I believe in seeing. So by the time we start visualizing tomorrow, you are going to see the column charts. So for bar chart as well. So bar chart is quite similar to column chart, but horizontal. So it is good for, you can decide to rename your charts if you wish. And it depends on what your data set is carrying. It depends on what your columns is carrying. So it depends on which one you want to choose. Then line chart is used for showing trends over time. For example, maybe monthly sales. You want to see how much you've made in the last 3 months, how much was made in the last quarter, how much was made in the last year. The profit you made in the last 2 years, you want to see to be able to compare. You can always check that out. So area chart like is also like line charts, and it's quite similar, but it emphasizes volume or change over time as well. Line chart and area chart is quite similar, so there's barely any difference between it. The both of them is used for showing trends over time. So we have pie charts. So what does pie chart or donut chart does? It show proportions or percentage breakdowns. Most times I advise that we stick to 2 data points for pie chart so that it does not look too clustered. For example, maybe you want to show how many male or female that you interviewed, or how many male or female that filled your survey. So you can have your pie chart or your donut charts. So these are the common Power BI chart and what they are used for. We have the card. So that one can be used to display a single metric. I'm sure we've seen dashboard that you will see total sales, total sales, total profits, total customers, just one particular card that is carrying one single number and showing that, okay, this is what is happening with like the total customers we have, the total sales we have, the total profit that we have. So we also have a table of matrix. So table of matrix shows much more details about your data set. There you can have like a table showing the customer age, the day the customer purchased the products, the delivery details and all of that. So it's a table that consists of over 3, 4, 5 columns, depending on how you want to visualize your data. So we also have map. So what map simply does is it display data across geographic locations, and your gauge also track the progress toward a goal. Maybe, for example, a sales target. So this is Power BI interface. So let me just check the next 2 slides so that we can see if we can move. Okay. Instead of showing you here, so let me confirm if you can see my screen clearly, so I can know if I can show it to you here or go to Power BI itself.
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, good. So what's the ribbon for like in Power BI? So this is the image you are seeing is what your Power BI interface looks like. So for ribbon, for all these things that we have here, like please just follow my mouse. So for all these things that we have here, so this contains that these are the things that you can use to like prepare your data, analyze your data, publish and do all of that. So all these things are called ribbons. So you can use it for visuals, modeling and viewing options. So for what we have here, so this place is like a table. You can create a table here. This is like your modeling page. You can use this for DAX, and this place is your reports or visualization page. So by the time we get to Power BI, we are going to see how we are going to connect from Power Query and like different kind of editing that we can do from Power Query, and then go back to this, our reports interface, to visualize and, show our stakeholders that this is what is really happening. So tomorrow, we are going to do something. We are going to we are going to load a simple Excel sheet into Power BI desktop. Then we are going to use Power BI to fix and remove any form of error that we have. Then we are going to visualize. Then we are going to create a filter as well. So you can filter by age, you can filter by gender. It depends on what we have in our data set. So tomorrow I'll be revealing the kind of data sets, or maybe I should allow you guys to vote. So should we work on a healthcare data set, or a sales data set, or I'm trying to not be biased. I'm trying to think of the kind of impact data set that we can. Okay, maybe we should just stick to so should we work on a healthcare data set, or a sales data set? So what did you say, Maman?
I said I think sales will be better.
Sales, okay.
Yes.
What
And everybody can venture into business.
Okay. What of Emmanuel and Grace? Thank you, Maman.
To me, healthcare will be better. Health sector.
Suggestion is okay.
What did Emmanuel say?
I said normal suggestion is okay. Sales is a generic kind of thing, so you can easily navigate using other franchises.
Okay, so I'm trying to, I know Grace said healthcare would be better. So now we have one healthcare, we have one sales. So are you saying we should go with sales?
Go with sales. This is generic.
Okay, so now it seems majority wins the vote to Grace. So we are going with sales.
It's okay, ma.
All right, so tomorrow we are going to analyze the sales data and all of the things I've been seeing. We are going to see it live and direct and how to do it. We are going to build a very simple dashboard tomorrow. We might not be able to complete it tomorrow, so on the third day, we are just going to complete it and then, have a closing session for discuss. Okay, so we still have more here. So this is an example of a, very simple dashboard. These things like these are very simple dashboard. So moving forward, like the tips and summary. So data quality first. So the one thing that you must always do is to always verify and clean your data before visualizing. Please, that's very, very important. Don't just collect data and jump into Power. One thing I even do, even before I jump into Power BI, I look at that data very well on Excel or wherever I'm bringing it from, even if it is on SQL. So I look at it very well and just ensure that, okay, what I have is like at least clean to a greater extent before, although you can always clean as well in Power BI, but at least what you are bringing in is already clean. It's like clean to a greater extent, and you verify that this data is correct, because it is whatever you give Power BI that it is going to bring out. For if you tell Power BI that if Power BI if what you have on your total sales is 52, that's what Power BI is going to calculate for you. So it cannot correct your incorrect data. So you always have to verify and clean your data. So one thing about Power BI is our Power BI also is clear naming. Your columns have to be like categorized accordingly and give it clear names. Don't give two columns the same name. Don't use abbreviations so that you don't get confused at some point. One thing I used to advise is that whenever you are visualizing, just make sure that all what you are doing, you are giving it clear names. And also design for clarity. Don't sometimes you see some dashboard online and it will be like as if they're sharing something that has to do with Christmas, or is a Father Christmas dashboard. We'll be seeing 4 colors, 5 colors. So one of my mentors told me that the most times I should stick with is 2 colors. Like, just design for clarity. You don't have to like make everything clustered. Make it clear and easy to understand, that when your stakeholders see that's where they can understand that, okay, this is what is happening, and even without even having to say too much, they've already started picking out their insights from it. And also keep it interactive. So we use slides as filters so that our stakeholders can always explore, they can always break down. For example, now instead of you can say, okay, I want to know what happened in Q4 last year. I want to know what happened I want to be able to compare Q4 last year to Q4 this year. I want to be able to compare Q1, like that's the first quarter last year to the first quarter this year. So it's always good to use filters and filters to let your users explore insights. So that is it for our introductory class. Does anyone ask question? It is question time. Please, can you hear me?
We can hear you, Ma.
Yes,
Can
I
you
can
hear
hear
me?
you.
Okay,
The
so
introductory class is very clear.
so I can ask you questions if you don't
No
want to
problem.
ask me.
No problem.
Okay, so I'm not going to move my slide up. Okay, so like in let me just say in very few sentences. So let's start with Emmanuel. So I just wanted to summarize like maybe what you've learned or anything new that you've learned today.
Okay. Typically, learn about how to engage through business intelligence at Power BI, and how to create dashboard that can synchronize with other uh, uh, statistical measures in order to have a good representation and update for stakeholders and other business people to see how to do any kind of business.
All right. right. Thank you very much, Emmanuel. I can see that you have a clear understanding as well. So moving on to Grace. Grace, please, can you unmute your mic and tell us what you've learned today? Like just few sentences. You don't have to say much.
Yeah, I learned about the little about, though I don't have any idea, but I have the idea now of the Power BI and how to use it on the dashboards and reports when you have your case or anything that you want to do. Especially you can use the bar chart, column, and all those things to make your work better.
All right. Thank you, Grace. Thank you very much. So I will share the slide with you guys. You can always go back and, go through it and have a much more clear understanding as well. Thank you, Grace. So moving on to Maman, please, can you unmute your mic and say yours as well? Maman, if you are speaking, we can't hear you. Or is it just me? Can anyone hear Maman speaking?
But I don't think it's speaking. Maybe
Hello? Hello?
Okay. All right. Okay. So
I've
did
not
you
been
hear my
hearing you.
question? Okay, you've not been hearing me.
Yeah, just of recent, yes.
Okay, so I said in few sentences that we want to go around your room. Like, can you just say what you've learned, new things that you've learned today? In just very few sentences.
Okay. Yeah, I've learned Power BI is a important tool used in correcting and also to transform and visualize data sets to give clarity and also guide us in our decision making. And that dashboards it's a continuous process which is better preferable than reports. And I also learned that Power BI does not correct or clean up our data set. That also we have to take our time to clean our data set in case if there is any discrepancies in our data. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Maman. Thank you. Like I said earlier to Grace, I said I was going to share. In fact, Olusoji already has this slide. So I'm going to share the slide with him and he can always share it with you guys. You guys can go through it ahead of tomorrow. That we would be visualizing our data on Power BI. So we've agreed on sales data set. So I'm going to look for a sales data set so we can come tomorrow and work on a sales data set together. So in the absence of no question, that will be all from me tonight.
Right.
We spent almost 1 hour. So thank you very much, everyone. This was such a good and interactive class. Thank you. So permission to log off now. I don't know if Olusoji kept Emmanuel in charge, but I'll stop sharing my screen.
okay, no problem. I think we'll meet tomorrow then.
All right. So see you guys tomorrow. Thank you very
Thank you
much,
very much.
everyone. All right.
Have a lovely day.
Okay.
Bye.